Hey everyone, thanks for coming by. I we got a little bit of a delay because I had to eat lunch, but also I got a new microphone stand. I really wanted to get that set up before we started playing today, so hopefully it sounds better. It'll definitely work better for me because now I can actually sit up and I'm not crouching over a microphone the whole time. But yeah, it's been a while since I've streamed. I was supposed to stream on Monday, but I was super duper tired, so we're gonna go ahead and get this thing done today, and I'm still planning on doing one tomorrow evening. So we'll be able to do volume 6 tomorrow evening. But yeah. Woo. So we're gonna finish this volume up, and then we're gonna play Monster Rancher 2 for a bit. Take a little break in between the two. Sounds good to me. So we're starting Friendsim Volume 5 with question mark person. As usual, the streets are hopping, just bouncing around like an overactive bunny rabbit on Easter morning. Up ahead at an intersection of streets is some kind of night market. Well, every market on Alternia is a night market. As previously stated, you are broke, but there's nothing wrong with a little bit of window shopping. Who knows what kind of awesome stuff you'll find? You can learn a lot about culture from their stores. You are so intent on thinking positive thoughts that you are nearly at the market before you realize that quite a few people are coming towards you in the opposite direction. Some of them are running, actually, and screaming. Looks likely that something has gone down, violence-wise. It's not a stampede. You aren't in any danger of being trampled, and the street is wide enough to just step aside and let the crowd pass by. Or it would be. You get a brief furtive glance of a pair of focused yellow eyes under a low-pulled hood. Then a hand grabs yours so tightly the tips of your fingers go numb. With a rough yank, you are pulled into the flow of the crowd. The troll girl who has a hold of you speaks quickly and quietly. You have to lean your head in close to hear. We are on a date. You're my mate Sprit, or my Moiral. Whatever you want. We're just a normal couple, out for a night on the town. We're gonna go catch a movie and get some soft-serve grub cream. You feel me? Wow, okay. Let's play along and hold hands. Your heart beats so fast, so hard that you can feel it in the back of your throat. You adjust your grip a little to make your hand easier to hold. In response, you get a squeeze like she's thanking you. You match her pace, a surprisingly difficult feat considering how short she is. Behind you, people are still shouting. What the heck happened back there? Someone died. You figured that, but it's not exactly rare for people on Alternia, is it? You've seen way more dead people here in the last couple of days than you've seen throughout your entire life on your planet. You tell the troll girl that you thought that was just kind of normal here. Normal, sure, when low bloods get killed. Natural order of things, right? But with high bloods, it's different. Personally, I don't give a shit about the natural order. Doesn't matter what the job is, I'll take it. Oh, so a high blood is dead, and you are currently holding hands with the troll who did the dirty deed. She chose you to help her lay low, i.e. she made you her accomplice, i.e. you are now her friend. Helping someone carry out a cold-blooded murder is a super friendly thing to do. What had she called you? Her mate Sprit? You aren't sure what that is, but it sounds great. You ask her what you should call her. My name's Polypa, but there's no reason to go throwing it around. Let's not talk at all. You want to point out that it won't look like a very convincing date if you were just walking in silence, but that would require talking, and she told you not to do that. A trio of those spiky robots go marching by, drones or whatever. Their big ugly heads swivel back and forth like they're looking for someone. Polypa doesn't say anything and she keeps her eyes forward, but she goes as sharp as a laser, every muscle in her body tensing. You feel it through her hand. Her fingers tighten on yours until the drones disappear into the crowd. She yanks you around the corner into a smaller alley connecting two roads. There's nothing here but a pothole and a couple of dumpsters. Hold up a minute. Her hoodie has a symbol on the front of it, two overlapping gold ovals. Most trolls seem to have a symbol designating their blood color on them somewhere. This means she's a gold blood, right? But then Polypa yanks the sweatshirt over her head, and underneath she's wearing a tank top emblazoned with a symbol in olive green. It looks a little like a cat. It's pretty cute. She tosses the sweatshirt into the nearest dumpster and kicks a button on the side. A whoosh, accompanied by the sulphurous stink of immolation. Note to self, don't go dumpster diving in Alternia. Polypa grabs your hand again as you head back out into the street. With her other hand, she works the tie out of her hair, shaking it out of its ponytail, letting it fall in thick, sweaty clumps against her neck. Next, she reaches up and takes part of her right horn off. Wait, no, it was a little bit of a veneer, an artificial bit to cover up a notch in the chitin. What are all these random wardrobe changes about? You wonder until you actually begin to listen to some of the conversations happening around you, and check out the billboard-sized screens mounted on roofs on every few blocks. It seems like the rumor mill is already going hard. Apparently, a well-respected Violet Blood is dead, killed in a full public view of witnesses by a gold-blood girl with a ponytail. Wow, you really are dealing with a professional here. I need to find somewhere to lay low until the heat turns down. I mean, we both do, since you're my associate now. I had a contact waiting, but I don't know what happened to her. It's possible she got spooked. Got any ideas for likely hideouts? I'm not from around here. You wonder what in the world made her think you have any idea what's going on, ever. She keeps giving you sharp looks, as if she is gradually catching on to just who she has chosen to recruit. You want her to understand that no matter how busted you look, you are an amazing friend and a co-conspirator. Well, here's your chance. What do you propose? Why not catch a movie and get some soft-serve grub cream, am I right? Polypa's mouth twitches. It could just be a muscle spasm, but you'd like to think it's a smile of approval and burgeoning camaraderie. Yeah, I guess we could. That's what people do on dates, right? It's been a while. I haven't seen a movie in forever. Let's do it. She squeezes your hand. You would have thought holding hands for so long would get sweaty and uncomfortable. You are certainly nervous enough, but her skin is surprisingly cool. With a couple of exceptions, all of your new friends have been literally cold-blooded. Also metaphorically for a few of them. But you aren't going to judge them for their lifestyle choices. That isn't your place as a friend. Regardless, your point is it's kind of nice holding hands, even if it's under a completely false murder pretenses. Come on, there's probably a theater in there. Makes sense. You aren't from around here and you don't think Polypa is either, but you can always recognize them all when you see one. Stores and escalators and fountains full of slimy mall water that's probably been there for years. The biggest difference between this and Earth Mall is that there doesn't seem to be anything working at any of these stores. Everything is automated. That and the top floors appear to be reserved for high bloods. Polypa is still holding onto your hand. Gosh, it's like you really are on a real date. This is very friendly. As far as you know, you've never been on a date with an assassin before. You can't read the showtimes and descriptions, and you don't have any money. But Polypa chooses the movie and pays for you both. She tosses a couple of coins into a slot and the machine spits out 2 tickets. You don't see any soft-serve grub cream, but you are a little too queasy from mingled nerves and excitement currently to deal with anything called grub cream. You do, however, stop for a bag of buttery exploded kernels at the concession stand. The theater you follow Polypa into isn't crowded, but you still feel every pair of eyes settling on you as you walk up the steps. Your heart pounds and sweat slides down the back of your neck. You are just positive everyone can see right through you to this deeply controversial cross-species mashup you have going on here. Even worse, Polypa takes a seat weirdly close to the only other group in here. Man, awkward. The movie starts playing. Apparently in Alternia there aren't any trailers before movies. Kind of a bummer. If you're going to be stuck here, you want to know what hot new summer blockbusters you have to look forward to. Surprisingly, the movie turned out to be a romantic comedy. You expected Polypa to choose a thriller or a horror movie. From what you can glean of the plot, it's about a beautiful young jade blood who gets involved with a visiting blue blood and their servant, a big bumbling bronze. The portrayal of low blood strikes you as vaguely offensive. They grunt and fall down a lot. The caverns look a lot fancier than you remember from the time you hung out with Bronya, just a lot bigger and more glittery. The main character spends a lot of time pulling a jeweled comb through her lustrous hair. The dialogue is kind of incoherent, and you don't just think it's because you're unfamiliar with the cultural context. It also doesn't help that Polypa keeps up a running commentary throughout. The ban on conversation has apparently been lifted. Ugh, I can't believe they added in the mistaken identity storyline. So unnecessary. Also, Black Rum is so boring in comedies. There's just no punch to it. I can't believe how bad this is. I don't remember the book being this garbage, but I read it a long time ago. My taste may have just been worse back then. You are looking at her in a whole new light. She shrugs, possibly a little self-conscious. What, you think I've been an assassin since I pupated? I used to have a blog for relationship advice and stuff like that. Of course, I was just messing around. I didn't know anything beyond what I'd read online. The two characters are kissing on screen. You have no idea who they are. You're way more interested in the fact that Polypa has decided to tell you her life story in the back of a movie theater. The deep blue light from a scene in the brooding caverns washes over her, making her look noble and sad. You are entranced. It didn't last, though. I doubt it had anything to do with my blog, but a few sweeps ago, a group of kids broke into my hive. I think they were high, maybe on Soper. Whatever, they stole a bunch of my shit, killed my Lucis, and some little psionic fuck broke both my legs with his brain. Just because he thought it would be funny. You are riveted. You have a bit of a tragic backstory yourself, but nothing this dramatic. Polypa picks a claw through the buttery exploded kernels with a delicate claw. I was trapped in my hive. I would have starved to death if it hadn't been for some teal who lived in my neighborhood. Just some little idiot who ran around with an Eastern Alternia replica sword, challenging purr-beasts to duels. Tealbloods are pedantic budgelords, but they care about justice, and these kids had attacked me for no reason. I didn't break any laws. Anyway, that's why I'm equal opportunity for how I take jobs. Low blood, high blood, everyone is scum. One of the kids in the row ahead of you turns around to tell Polypa that if she and her monorail want to get all nasty and pale, maybe you should get a room. Polypa kicks the back of her chair and tells her maybe she should mind her own business. The girl looks about ready to jump over the back of her seat, but the guy next to her pats her firmly on the cheek. Almost a slow-motion slap, firm and intense with plenty of uncomfortably intimate eye contact. The girl settles down after that, and everyone goes back to watching the movie. The rest of it goes by with your head spinning and your heart's in your throat. You're glad that Polypa trusts you enough to share her past, but you are nervous about her talking about it in public. Wasn't the whole point of coming to the movie just to lay low? Think about it. When that girl sees the description in the alert, she's not going to be thinking about the noisy olive blood getting all conciliatory in public. It's way safer than skulking around, believe me. Gosh, Polypa really is an expert. You're so glad you got to go on this date with her, even if it was mostly fake. As soon as you are back out on the street, Polypa pulls out her phone. Slowly, her face falls. Fuck that little nook licker. I thought she bailed on me, but according to Chitter, she's dead. They got her. Damn it. I told her to be careful. Her sadness is quickly turning to rage, vibrating off her frantic waves. The voice gets louder too, and people are starting to look your way. Heckling in a theater is one thing, shouting at a phone about murder is another. This is going south fast. You've got to calm her down. Ooh, we get to deploy our first Sush Pap. For lack of a better plan, you copy what you saw the troll inside do to his angry date. You press your palm firmly to her cheek. To your intense shock, she blushes a deep olive green, and her eyes slip close. She leans into your touch as if she is drawing comfort from this tiny little gesture. She blinks and pulls away. Listen, I'm technically on the clock right now. Let's be professional. She bites her lip, hesitating. Then she reaches up and repeats the gesture on your face. An unbelievable warmth fills you. Could it be the warmth of friendship? You're a weird-looking double-horn amputee with very few social skills, terrible survival instincts, and both short and long-term memory loss. But you're all right. If you ever want to earn a little cash, I could use a partner I can depend on. Is it raining? No, those are just tears in your eyes. Tears of gratitude. Okay, don't get too choked up. You're definitely just gonna be bait. You assure Polypa that, due to your general ineptitude, you wouldn't want it any other way. Victory! Oh my goodness, did we actually get the best ending on the first try? That's new for me. Goodness. Alright. Well, let's see what all the bad endings look like before we move on to... what's his face? With the horns. And shirt. And clothes. Okay, we have to do this one. You stop abruptly and someone smacks into you from behind. You go down hard, your hand ripped away from the girl's. She gives you a fierce glower of disappointment. Fine, just some more people letting me down. I'll deal with this on my own. I've done it before. She takes a running leap for the alley wall, scampering up and onto the roof like a squirrel up a tree. You are left looking down at the smudge of violet blood she left on your palm. Uh-oh. An emptiness fills you at the thought of the friendship that could have been if only you kept your chill. Ah, that was pretty quick. I thought for sure I was going to die right there. But I guess not. That's a better bad ending, I guess. Okay. Hide out in one of the apartment buildings. That's a possibility. Most of the hive stems around here are cheap rentals, burgundy or bronze at the most. I could take them, no problem. I mean, I can take anyone. Some jobs just require a little more forethought. You kind of meant finding an empty unit, or maybe skulking in a foyer or alien Starbucks. But you don't want to tell your cool new friend how to do her job. And there you go again, jumping the gun and claiming friends you don't have the right to. But she did choose you. Though at this point, she may be wishing she grabbed some other random stranger's hand. Well, pick one. This was your idea. Oh geez, you seriously don't need this kind of responsibility in your life. Nothing good will come from letting you be in charge, but you also don't want her to think you're useless. You just kind of wish she'd tell you what to do and leave it at that. You pick a tall purple building at random. How about that one? Sure, I guess. You enter what seems to be a standard shabby apartment building, climbing the lobby steps up to a hallway lined with doors. This could be any apartment on Earth, but instead of letters on the nameplates, there are those little colorful symbols. They remind you a little of zodiac signs. Huh, weird. Anyway, all the ones here are red or brown, like Polypa predicted. She listens at a couple of doors before finally settling on one with a red symbol. You wait for her to pull out a lockpick, or high-tech paraphernalia, or even just a pin from her hair. Instead, she takes a step back and delivers 2 sharp kicks just above the knob. What? I'm not the goddamn super. You assure her that you are absolutely not judging the way she's running this operation. You don't think you've ever met a mercenary before. Unless you count that guy who tried to hit you up for cash when you were injured, or the little girl who drained your blood for paints, or the boy constantly on the prowl for delicious meats. The apartment is dingy and small and smells like old pizza. Good news. Not that it smells bad, it's just the fact that there's pizza here. You didn't think you could live on a planet that didn't have pizza. That's just beyond the pale. You try to shut the busted door as well as you can. Polypa plunks herself on the couch and pulls out her phone. Or, what had Skyla called it? A palm husk? She pulls out her palm husk and proceeds to ignore you. That's okay. It's important for friends to give each other space. You take the opportunity to poke around the apartment you're currently illegally occupying, just generally being a nosy piece of shit. Whoever lives here is a real slob. Dishes are piled high in the sink, and the windows are so dirty you can barely see out of them. Something sticky and red stains half the counter. It might be blood, but it also might be Kool-Aid. Fuck. God damn it, shitting fuck breath. Something appears to have gone wrong. Polypa is still on the couch, hunched over with her palm husk held close to her face. She types with her knuckles. You've noticed a lot of trolls do that, probably because of the claws. It's all over, Chitter. Everyone's talking about it. My contact. They got her. She's been culled. Her voice is flat, her eyes expressionless. She lets the palm husk slip from her fingers into her lap. You stand next to the couch like such an asshole, but you don't know what to say, and you doubt Polypa is the hugging type. But you really can't stand her looking so dejected. Before you start pitying me, don't. I barely knew her. It's not like we were in a quadrant or anything. It was just business. You sit down on the other end of the couch, tipping your head and raising your eyebrows to show you're very ready to listen and learn and commiserate. Polypa wraps her arms around her knees. Most pros work with a partner. It's a lot easier when you have someone you trust to watch your back. It's usually quadranted pairs who work together. There's one particularly famous Olive and Goldblood duo. I've lost plenty of jobs to them, but I've never found anyone that I trust enough to make into my partner, beyond just a random one-off. Killing a sea dweller is no joke. It's almost totally impossible. Does that mean the guy back in the town square isn't actually dead? Polypa looks affronted at the very thought. Excuse me, no, it just means I had to get a very expensive knife and coat it in very expensive poison and stab in exactly the right place. The motherfucker is dead, there's no doubt about that. I don't leave jobs half done. High caste jobs are my specialty. Most people are too afraid to take jobs higher than teal. Me, I don't care. Low blood, high blood, if you got the cash, I'll do the job. If I did have a partner, it would make things a lot easier. I'll admit that much. You cough lightly into a closed fist. What's this? Something caught in your throat, perhaps? Could it be the steady hand of fate reaching a finger down and testing your gag reflex? You murmur delicately that sometimes destiny steers you in a direction you never thought you'd go. Maybe, just maybe, it has steered her to you. That's forward for sure, but you're pretty much the old hand at this by now, right? Polypa snorts. It's a little watery. She isn't crying, is she? No way. Not a tough assassin like her. You're imagining it. You? No offense, but I only grabbed you because you look so weird, and figured you wanted to avoid the drones even more than I do. You don't exactly blend in. You can't argue with her logic, but a sourness starts in your throat now at the realization that Polypa had not chosen you for your obvious trustworthiness and friendship potential, but rather because you look like a goddamn disaster. Fair. A very fair assessment. Whatever. You can get past that. God knows you have gotten past worse, like attempted murder. As a good friend recently said, you gotta break a few cluck-beast embryos to make a grublet. She's considering you now, more thoughtful than before. Well, I guess beggars can't exactly be choosers. But you have to remember. But what you have to remember, you aren't destined to find out. That fate finger reaches down further and chokes you. Keys jingle outside the apartment before whoever is out there catches the side of the busted door. What the hell? You and Polypa lock eyes. Oh shit! A quick flash of silver and suddenly a knife appears in Polypa's hands. Where did it even come from? Outside in the hall, someone is swearing. The broken door falls inward, and before it is all the way open, Polypa is up and over the couch, launching herself at the intruders. Shit, wait, you are the intruders. And this is what you were afraid of. You're about to watch your new friend kill some poor low-blood troll. This was such a terrible idea. Too bad there's no way to go back in time and make all your choices all over again. Yeah, that would be rad. You wish life was like that. A short, stout little guy with a red symbol on his shirt comes through, but right behind him is a troll so tall he has to duck down to get through the door. Oh, hell no. The giant troll catches Polypa in one hand. He's got big ram-like horns and a curly purple symbol on his shirt. His face is painted in lines of black and white. It's makeup designed to make his face look like a skull. Look, babe, look at how these tiny wiggler thieves. Polypa writhes in his grip, clawing at him like an angry cat. He hangs on, giving her a shake. Shit, you have to do something. But what? If you get in that purple guy's reach, you're absolutely going to get killed. You try to move your feet, but your survival instincts are kicking in and you're rooted to the spot. You can't do anything. You're useless. You don't even know what happened to Polypa's knife. God, you wish you had taken some self-defense classes back on Earth. The High Blood gives Polypa a wide smile and tosses her across the room like he's lobbing a dodgeball. She lands on her back, rolls to her feet, and bolts for the window. Of course you would have a High Blood, mate Sprit. The High Blood turns to you and sticks out a big gray tongue, and wow, suddenly you can move your feet again. You throw yourself out the window after Polypa. You're only one floor up, but that's one floor more than you would like to be when falling out of the building. Your fall is broken by Polypa, meaning you get a collection of bony elbows and knees applied to your gut. She bares her teeth at you. Get off, idiot. They're definitely going to call the drones. We've got to run. You roll your big floppy body off her and hustle to keep up as she peels off down the street. You throw one last glance over your shoulder to see the two guys hanging out the window. The High Blood waves lazily. Polypa starts out strong, but pretty soon she is limping and leaning on your shoulder. A jagged piece of glass is wedged in her calf muscle. You lean down to get a closer look. You're no doctor, but recently you've become an expert in acute injuries. What the hell? Stop. You want me to leave a blood trail? We need to split up now that we've been seen together. Your heart sinks all the way to your aching feet. God, you'd have been so sure you had this one on lock. You mention, half mumbling to yourself, that maybe it would be better if you stayed together. Safety in numbers and all that. Oh yeah? Maybe safety for you. This was a terrible idea. I can't believe I ever trusted that someone could have my back. Yeah, let's do another one of your amazing plans. Sounds great. She leaves you at an intersection of streets. Even though she is no longer leaning on you, you nevertheless feel a heaviness settle inside of you. Philosophically. A deep fatigue so intense you want to curl up on the ground. So you do. At least your ass didn't kill her. That's true. Ooh. But at least we got the best ending. And the best ending is always the canon ending, right? Right? Right. Yeah, if your internet is being weird, Quintus, then yeah, just like the videos will be up on YouTube. Hopefully tonight. That would be nice. It all depends on how fast they render out and how fast YouTube uploads go. But yeah. Okay, so we finished Polypa's route. Now let's get ready for Zebra's route. I'm kind of interested to see how this one goes. Your stroll takes you to a nice part of town that seems to have larger, more McMansion-style hives. Based on your past experience on Alternia, you're not quite certain that the upper-class enclaves equal safety for you, but you might as well explore. You never know where you find your next friend. The power of positive thinking must be on your side, because someone emerges out of the shadows of these sprawling suburbs. Oh, hello there. I don't believe we've met. I'm sure I would have remembered someone with such unique looks. You don't know where you are, do you? By this point in your time on Alternia, you don't know if it's wise to admit that you lost and naive to the ways of the world, but you don't know what you could say to try and convince this guy that you've got any kind of street smarts. You nod your head reluctantly, but he actually looks more interested in you after the confirmation that you're new to the neighborhood. Have you perhaps found someone who likes you for your vulnerability and naivete? That would be fantastic luck. It's a good thing I found you. Not everyone is as respectful of lowbloods as I am. Oh, but I shouldn't make assumptions just because you're not much to look at. My bad. I don't mean to be forward, but if you're just so interesting, mind if I ask what color your blood is? You hesitate. While you're still terrifyingly ignorant of the intricacies of alternative society, you're starting to feel terrifyingly informed about the role that blood color plays in this world. And you've managed to gather by now that the plain old human red isn't considered one of the better colors to have. What do you do? How about we lie to him first and see where that goes? Oh, really? It's not that I don't want to be friends with other high bloods, but I'm a busy troll, you understand. So I only befriend folks that I might, want to fill a quadrant with someday. Besides, high bloods just don't need as much help in our unjust society. Stay awakened. He pumps his fist in the air and you immediately copy him, but the gesture doesn't seem to be enough to change his mind about you not being impressed enough for his tastes. So I just don't think it's going to work out between us. Oh, we're out of his league. That's probably the best ending we could have gotten. Yeah, I'm starting to get the... I've always known that Zebra is very love-to-hate type of dude. Because he's just kind of gross. And yeah, I get it. Red, huh? Wow, that's so unique. I've always liked the color red. I don't think I've ever filled a quadrant with a red blood before. I don't think I've ever made friends with a red blood before. You don't know what a quadrant is, or what it means to fill one. Given your experience on this planet so far, you're nervous that it could mean something violent. But you don't want to further expose your ignorance, so you just say what you're excited for his friendship as he is. Hey, you come on strong. Nice. You need a place to stay for the day, right? I can help you out with that. I've got plenty of spare rooms for guests in my hive. Because I believe it's important to help out the undeserved members of the community when you can. My hive is this way, shall we? You follow him down the street. You guess it must qualify as a nice night because you see lots of other trolls walking around here too. Most of them are dressed as nice as Zebra, and you see a few shabbier looking trolls that must be low bloods walking with high bloods. Today is actually Flushed Affirmation Day, so you'll see a lot of trolls taking their mate sprits out to celebrate. Lucky for you, my flushed quadrant is currently empty, so I'm all yours tonight. That sounds a little weird. He doesn't need to be all yours, you assure him. You're an easygoing individual who's happy to share their friends with plenty of other friends. Sure, sharing can be a good time if you're into that. I could be, speaking personally, like maybe with two low bloods, but not in an objectifying way. Everyone involved has got to respect each other, Wow, what? You have no idea how your innocent comment about friendship got taken to this particular place. You decide that maybe the best thing to say here is nothing, because who knows how he might misinterpret you next. Huh, looks like there are a lot of high blood, low blood couples out tonight for the holiday. Pretty unusual to see in this neighborhood, to be honest. It's sad, but most of these low bloods are probably with their maceras because it's socially advantageous. Pretty shitty of the high bloods to take advantage of anything with that, but not everyone is as socially conscious as I am. I think it's super terrible when high bloods don't treat their low blood mate sprits like the queens that they are. You look around at all the other couples. The class divide is pretty noticeable, and some of the high blood trolls have scornful looks on their faces when talking to their low blood dates. One troll dressed in cerulean is making her shabbily dressed mate sprit kneel down so he can give her a ride on his shoulders. It could maybe be a cute coupley thing, you guess, except she's sure laughing a lot and has the heel of her boot pressing into the back of his neck. You don't want to speculate about what people might be into, but this does seem kind of humiliating. Zebra sees where you're looking and shudders theatrically. In the process of waving his arms around in disgust, he slips an arm over your shoulders. I'm so sorry. You shouldn't have to see something like that. You're trying to think of a tactful and friendly way to move away from his arm around your shoulders when you arrive at what must be his hive. It's the biggest, most McMansion-y hive on the block, and when he stops in front of it, he lets go of you to gesture proudly at his sprawling home. Welcome to my humble abode. Just feel grateful, you know, to be able to share my wealth with those less fortunate. When you walk inside the front door, you're greeted by a very distinguished-looking white zebra. It has normal zebra markings all over its body, except for around its neck, where a dark gray zags have formed a shape that looks like a bow tie, almost like if it's wearing a suit. You don't know how its zebra face is managing to radiate pure disdain when it looks at you, but that is unquestionably the energy you're getting. Don't mind my Lucis, he's kind of socially old-fashioned. But he lets me keep low-bloods around the hive to help out and stuff, so he's not all bad. Let me give you the grand tour. As Zebra takes you through the spacious hive, you can see other trolls in several of the rooms. Most of them aren't wearing clothes as nice as Zebra's. You're guessing these are the low-bloods he just mentioned? They seem to all be doing chores. Sweeping, cooking, exchanging green slime in troll-sized bathtubs for other, possibly fresher green slime. Each of them glances up at you, and Zebra when you pass by, then looks deferentially away. The Zebra Lucis is following you, and every time you exit a room it pauses on the doorway to whinny out what could be orders, or possibly he's just berating them. You arrive at an empty ballroom-looking space upstairs, where several low-blood trolls are hard at work, cleaning up the remains of what must have been quite a party. Zebra seems to notice you noticing how all the trolls in here are scrubbing the floor, and how they are all avoiding your eyes. See, I told you I take in plenty of guests. I believe it's important to promote diversity, you know? So that's why you don't see other indigo bloods here. Looks like all the guests are busy today. Well, an important part of communal living includes contributing your labor when it's necessary, right guys? A few low bloods mutter an affirmation, while others just put their sponges and mops down to prostrate their whole bodies on the floor. Zebra looks a little uncomfortable with the bowing, but not that uncomfortable. He doesn't introduce you to any of them. They don't all realize yet that my hive is a sanctuary from the harsh injustices of the outside world. Anyway, enough about my low-blood guests. Let's take care of you, shall we? Perhaps his Lucis has had enough of tolerating your presence, because it takes the opportunity to stop following you and go huff at more of Zebra's guests. Now, for better or for worse, you are alone, and Zebra has turned all of his attention on you. His smile seems very friendly. You want to see it as friendly. The night is still young. I'm happy to do whatever you want to do. If you feel like going out on the town to celebrate Flushed Affirmation Day, I have lots of other friends I can introduce you to. Help you meet the right kind of culture, you know. Or if you're tired, I can show you to your guest room now, and we can have a nice night in. Go out or stay in? I wanna go out. We can make some more friends that way. Yay! You're not crazy about the idea of being alone with this guy for the rest of the night. Plus, if he's as popular as he says he is, that means more potential friends for you to meet. You tell him that you're interested in going out. Cool. That sounds like a great time. I'll just go get ready. Actually, I think I'm more in the mood for a nice quiet night in. Maybe television streaming service and lower the temperature, if that's cool with you. Boy, if that has the same connotations as it does on Earth, it's not cool with you. You stumble through, expressing some misgivings, but he talks over you. Great, sounds like we both feel like staying in tonight. Alright. I'm not gonna lie, I'm psyched to stay in and have you all to myself. I just want you to feel comfortable with whatever we choose to do. You're not sure why he asked you wanted to do, since your preferences don't seem to matter much. My Lucis and my guests have probably prepared a delicious meal for you by now, but let's finish the tour first. I assume you want to see my room? You tell him sure, bedrooms are a great way for people to express their personalities, and as his friend you're interested in getting to know him better. He doesn't seem to have heard part of the sentence, but it's okay. Hopefully he got the gist. When you get to his enormous room, it's decorated with posters of musicians on the wall and what seem to be social justice slogans. One poster has a symbol with clawed hands in several different colors coming together to hold a trident with the word unity underneath it. Another poster features a rainbow of colors ranging from rust to olive green that proclaims him to be a low-blood ally. 2 other low-blood servants are in here, one of them standing on a stepladder to dust some high shelves, while the other crawls around on the floor, scrubbing and picking up wrappers that Zebra seems to have just littered there. Pretty sweet place, right? You look confused by the posters. Your music taste probably isn't refined enough to have heard of my favorite bands. I only listen to subversive musicians that speak the truth to power. Luckily, you have me to teach you how to confront your privilege and support marginalized artists. Also, did you notice my rad pile? It's a perfect setup for feelings jams with your Moirel. He winks at you. You don't know what a Moirel is, or what he means by feelings jam, which sounds like in theory it could be a nice thing, but maybe not, given the sleazy way he says it. You tell him that it looks like a very nice pile of things. You spot a couple pillows, what looks like a puppet with a disturbingly long nose, some random bow ties, a few horseshoes. You look intrigued. Want to lie down on it for a second? We don't have to do anything, but sometimes it can be nice to just, pacify each other a little bit. He sprawls on the pile with what he probably thinks is an enticing way. Like he wants you to draw him like one of your French girls. You turn away and try to hide the disturbed expression on your face, because turning down his advances probably isn't the best way to secure his friendship. As your eyes cast about the rest of the room, you notice that the low-blood servant scrubbing the floor is having a coughing fit. You can tell that she's trying to cough unobtrusively, but it seems like she's hacking her lungs up, with each big cough raking her whole body and making her shoulders shake. Concerned, you crouch down by her side. She jumps when she notices your concern, and mumbles that she's fine and that you won't need to worry. But she doesn't look fine. Now that you're getting a closer look, you can tell that she seems to be underfed and exhausted, with sickly shadows on her face and scraped up knees and elbows. She looks bad, and you know bad, considering how much of your time you've recently spent stumbling around with various excruciating injuries. You mention to Zebra that his guest is not looking so good. He frowns, getting up from his pile of stuff to come investigate, blinking down at you in confusion for not sparing a glance for the low blood. What are you even talking about? The servant tries to go back to her scrubbing, but she struggles with coughing and scrubbing simultaneously. It's hard for you to watch. Surely she would feel better if she took a break and ate or drank something. You asked Zebra about that hot meal he said was being cooked for you. Maybe you could get some of it to this poor sick troll. Geez, you're making me look bad. Ha ha. There's no way a guest in my house could be going hungry. I respect low bloods and do everything in my power to take care of them. What, do you think you're a better ally than I am? Considering your status, or lack thereof, on this planet, you're not sure you count as an ally so much as a member of the oppressed underclass. But you let that slide. You hasten to explain that you didn't mean to criticize him, and that you're sure he's doing a fine job at being an ally to lowbloods. Yeah, well, it's not easy. Whatever. Maybe we should go eat now. I don't feel like having a feelings jam anymore. He turns and leaves the room without showing any sign that he'll do something for the sick low blood. You mouth an apology to her behind his back, and she just gives you a tired wave and goes back to scrubbing. Zebra leads you downstairs to the dining room, where Lucis is supervising a team of low bloods setting the table with what looks like a 4-course meal. The look on the Lucis Zebra's face is now even more disdainful than before, and his bow tie seems angrier. Looks like dinner is almost ready. Cool. Of course, you're probably not going to offer to pay for any of it, are you? Figures. Low bloods, trolls in general, are always expecting me to provide for them without ever offering any I don't know that word. Jeez. Concupiscence in return. For once, you're kind of glad that you're unfamiliar with his alien vocabulary and innuendo. You have absolutely no money, which he definitely knows. You can pay him back for the dinner in friendship? Yeah, well, I'm not sure if I want to be friends with someone who has a problem with the way I do activism. I have it on good authority from every other high-blood I know that my intersectional praxis is valid. You stumble over your words in your haste to assure him that you are in no way meant to say he's not valid. You've never met a troll soul valid. No one believes in his validity more than you do. Whatever, let's just eat. You both sit down at the table while the Lowbloods set the table, light the candles, and serve the appetizer course. You can't help but notice that most of them look just as malnourished and sickly as the troll upstairs, but it might be best to not bring that up again. You eat in silence for a while, and Zebra looks like he's stewing over something. Then he sets his fork down and looks over the table at you with a frown. You know what? I just realized. You totally denied my Lowblood her own agency when you questioned me about her not feeding her. Yeah, what you said was totally problematic. You don't respect Lowbloods at all, do you? Not like I do. You try to apologize, saying that it was not your intention to disrespect anyone, but that you're sorry you apparently did. He doesn't let you get the words out. People don't realize how tough it is to be a high-blood troll who believes in social justice. Seriously, I face my own kind of oppression for speaking out and being an activist for low-blood rights. For one thing, I never get the consolation or concupiscence I deserve. My quadrants are always going unfilled because no one else agrees with my radical views. I thought you'd be different, but you don't get it either. You try to tell him that he's got you all wrong. You agree with his radical views and believe in low-blood rights, which is why you were concerned for his guests in the first place. But he just acts like you didn't say any of what you just said. You're just another one of the oppressors, complicit in the unequal power structures of our fucked up society. Your lack of awareness for your own privilege really makes me sick. You must think you're so oppressed with your red blood and multiple injuries. But what you're doing now, rejecting me and criticizing me, it's really exactly the same as what subjugulators do all the lowbloods that they call. You probably deserve whatever shitty position you have in society, unlike me. I deserve to have this nice house, and low-blood servants, and full quadrants for being such a good activist, okay? He's standing up by now, advancing on you with his zebra stamping its hooves threateningly at his side. You scramble back, trying to make your way to the front door. It's tricky because you have to step around all the lowbloods who seem to feel strongly that they should get away from Zebra when he's angry. You don't make it to the front door fast enough on your own. Oof. With a terrifying equine scream, Zebra's Lucis rears up on its hind legs and strikes you with its hooves, battering you through the front door and breaking some of your recently healed ribs again. Take your privilege and offensive views and get out. Anyone who doesn't respect lowbloods is not welcome as a guest in my hive. It would behoove you to stay away. Ugh. Yeah, Zebra's pretty gross, I think. Yeah, Zebra is lame. I don't know if I want to be his friend or not. Show me to my room, please. You think that going out with Zebra on Flushed Affirmation Day might potentially give him the wrong idea, and besides, you're pretty tired, so you don't feel like going out. You tell him you're ready to retire to your guest room now. Oh, sure. Oh, by the way, have you heard of Chixie Roxmer? You probably haven't. You don't seem like you're a very serious music fan. But you've got a great opportunity tonight to learn from me. One of her low-blood musician friends is playing a show for the holiday, and I can get us in because I'm super connected to the scene. We should go just in case he's there. You could have sworn you told him you wanted to stay in tonight, but okay, you can gather the remains of your energy and go out to this concert with him. That's what a good friend would do. He takes you across town to the concert, only trying to hold your hand or put his arm around you a couple of times on the way, so it could be worse. Maybe hand-holding is totally platonic on Alternia? You hope so. The concert itself is one troll with a guitar and harmonica who, according to Zebra, is a low blood whose songs are spreading truly radical messages, almost as radical as Chixie's. You enjoy the tunes as much as you can, but you don't understand what the lyrics are trying to say. You ask Zebra what the lyrics mean, since the message is apparently important to him, but he gets annoyed with your question. Oh, what? The lyrics are about... well, they're about a lot of things. Social justice and oppression and stuff. It's hard to explain to someone who doesn't already get it. Like, if you're not on my level already, I don't know what I can really say, you know? But enough about the music, I want to talk about you. What sort of things are you into? If you haven't had many opportunities on Alternia to talk about your interests. How exciting. You say that you like playing games, but he's already interrupting you. Cool, sounds great. Really interesting stuff. But what's your quadrant situation like? It's harder to pretend that you know what he's talking about now that he's asked you about quadrants directly. You admit that you have no idea what he means by quadrant situation. Whoa, you're even more clueless than I thought. Don't worry, I still find you attractive. He goes into a brief, but not really brief enough, explanation of the 4 types of romance on Alternia. Matespritship, the flush quadrant, which to you sounds the most analogous to human romantic partnerships. More allegiance, the pale quadrant, which sounds like an exceptionally codependent friendship by human standards. Auspicitism, the ashen quadrant, which you don't understand at all. And kissimissitude, the black quadrant, which just sounds like repeatedly hooking up with someone you hate. You're fuzzy on the details of all 4 of these, but you understand enough to get that he's asking if you're single. You tell him that you really just want to be friends. Of course, I super respect your choices. If you ever change your mind, I'm right here, and being in a quadrant with an influential, yet sensitive and socially aware indigo bud like myself could make it a lot easier for you to survive and thrive on Alternia. Wasn't he criticizing that kind of high blood, low blood, socially advantageous relationship just a few hours ago? It wouldn't be very friendly of you to point out his hypocrisy, so you don't mention it. After another song, another troll at the club saddles up to Zebra and whispers something in his ear, then skulks off again. Zebra looks alarmed, glancing around him and edging towards the club exit. I just got a tip that she's about to be a culling at this concert. We should get out of here. You definitely agree with him about wanting to get out of here. You look around at the rest of the audience still enjoying the show. You and Zebra are the only ones getting ready to leave. Is he going to warn any of the other trolls here of the danger? Oh no, definitely not. If I were to warn any of these lowbloods that a culling is coming, that would mean risking my life too. Not that I've ever tried, but everyone knows that. The high bloods here will probably be fine though. We've got each other's backs. It's important to look after your comrades in this struggle. Sure enough, you can see that the other trolls here, much like Zebra, stand out because they're wearing nice clothes, are casually but urgently leaving the concert venue. The lowbloods are all still clapping and singing along with the singer on stage. No one has given them a tip-off. Come on, we've got to scram. The 2 of you abscond, getting away from the music club as fast as your legs can carry you. By the time Zebra decides it's safe to slow down, you're tired and out of breath. Looking around, it seems like you've arrived back in the high blood part of town. You wonder if drones have descended on all those trolls at the club by now, and you just can't hear it because this neighborhood is too far away, closed off and sheltered from the violence. Phew, that was a close one. Going to low-blood cultural events like that can be dangerous, but it's one of the risks you have to take if you want to be an activist. I can't tell you how many times I've risked a culling to fight for low-blood rights. Civil disobedience is the only way to fight the authoritarian state. He turns to you and takes one of your hands in both of his, looking deep into your eyes. I just think it's so cool how you supported me back there when we risked our lives for the cause. That's probably the best way you can contribute as an activist and ally, you know, by supporting me. And speaking of activism, we were talking about quadrants earlier. Let's get back to that. This guy just does not want to take no for an answer. Once again, you reiterate that friendship is what you're looking for here. He nods enthusiastically and squeezes your hand tighter. Fuck yeah, I love friendship. I've always believed that a strong friendship is the best foundation for any successful romantic relationship. And many trolls start by being friends first and enter a quadrant later. Even if you still try to be friends and then fight too much, it can still prepare you for a colligonous quadrant. Either way, the thought of being your friend makes my blood pressure beat a little faster. Sure, if you say. If what we're doing is extolling the benefits of friendship, then boy, you have some things to add to his list. For instance, friendship can give you a sense of platonic companionship with your fellow man, and friends can also come in handy when you need someone to help move, or take you to the airport, or other non-romantic activities. You think friendship is a great thing to pursue for its own merits. Friendship is so great that once you have it, why would you want anything more? Hell yeah, totally. So you're so right that friendship is a great first step. Did you enjoy the concert tonight? Did it persuade you to be an ally for low blood rights? You think that by going by your blood color and how often you've almost gotten killed by those more powerful on this planet, you're more like a member of the oppressed underclass than you are an ally. But you decide not to split hairs and just tell them that, yes, you'll be an ally to yourself. That's fantastic. I'm so happy to hear that. If you're an ally to Blowbloods, then I'll allow you to be my mate spread. Friend, you correct him. You can be his friend. Right, sure. Yep, I meant to say friend. He lets go of your hand finally, which at least counts for a partial victory, and winks. Hooray! We're friends with Zebra. Okay. That was pretty good. Well, except for the having to deal with Zebra part of it. Yeah, that truly is the worst ending. Okay, that was pretty good. I'm glad we got through that. I'm going to take about 10 minutes or so. Get a drink of water. Get up and stretch a bit. And then I'll be right back and we can start on our Monster Rancher 2. See what Bumcakes is up to. I hope he's doing okay. Alright. I will see you guys in a little bit.